shaking underneath, trying to take me alive. Get ready for the fallout. Can't stop me now. I got no rival. I'ma find my way through the blood and pain, game of survival. Any time or place, watch 'em run away. I got none. I'll be standing on my own, never gonna take my throne. I got no rival. Watch 'em run away. I got no I got no rival.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Turf Morehouse TV. Turf Morehouse. I'm just blending it all into one word. Sod it. However, hi. Good evening. Sloppy seconds you've got. We've done a match preview for the Aston Villa game on Sunday, and now we are back with the predictions. I don't know why I sign myself up for these every single year, because I'm always terrible, finish bottom, and it just doesn't work. Just doesn't work at all. However, last week Burnley had no game to take part in because Luton can't sort their arse from their hands. And neither can the Premier League, because you could have just swapped the fixtures round. But nah, that's too much trouble for those guys. So they didn't bother. That said, let's have a look at the table for week 2. And it is as follows. Brighton top the pack with 6 points, continuing that good form from last season under Roberto De Zerbi. Manchester City remain unbeaten as well. Surprised they've not scored as many goals as Brighton, but I'm sure that will change. Arsenal and Brentford make up the rest of the top 4 with Liverpool in 5th. Spurs 6th, West Ham 7th, and the Geordies of Newcastle sat in 8th. Villa, who literally played, it finished not so long back, beat Hibs 5-0 today in the Europa Conference League qualifier. So yeah, when you've got Villa coming up and the last 2 games are Everton beating them 4-0 and then going and beating Hibs 5-0, you start to think, typical. You thought your season started after you got City out the way. Yeah, brilliant. That said, obviously we do have a guest who's really looking forward to playing Manchester City this week, and I'm sure of it. It should be fun. We've got Forest in at 10, making up the top tier. Then we've got Palace, Manchester United, Fulham, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Sheffield United, and Luton in the bottom 3. Burnley are in there, but season's not started yet. Wolves, which to be fair, a lot of people are tipping for the drop this year. And Everton, does Sean Dyche have the gall to keep the Toffees in the Premier League? We shall see. If you can, absolutely smash a like on these videos. Also share and subscribe if you're new. Why not? Treat yourself. We've already got a new member today, Mrs. B. She's in the building, became a YouTube member, and you can as well. For only 99p. You get loyalty badges, member shout-outs, guest appearance, exclusive emojis, which we'll be adding to, and you will be featured on our YouTube page as well. So that is only 99p. And you can join us, like I say, per calendar month. It does help. It really does help us. We're just a little shitty community, but we are growing. And I love you all. I love you all like you're my own. Although with what Oli said, heard me say when I'd send the little one to bed, maybe he's thinking, yeah, he's telling you he loves you. He'll be sticking V's up as soon as your back's turned. That said, though, let's get into it. Let's get Oli on. Hey. Here he is. The man, the myth, the legend. How you doing?
Yes, I'm not too bad, thank you. Dan, how are you doing? I imagine you're ready for some football this weekend after your enforced break.
Yes and no. I'm working this weekend, so I can't even be at the game. I'm working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I'll miss this game. However, it could be a blessing in disguise, me staying away, So, you know, time will tell. But I'm looking forward to having some football back. And you've already seen what Burnley have done against Manchester City. So, you know, why not upset the apple cart? I mean, you looking forward to that game this weekend?
Nope.
No, just get it out of the way.
Nope.
Just,
Get it
you
out of the
know.
way. We did one of our shows earlier and we were talking about it, and I was just saying, you know, you just don't judge a season on how you do against Manchester City, because, you know, it could literally end up any score against them. We know how good they are. They've got that Norwegian beast playing centre forward. And yeah, we just survived the game against Man City, and then you see what you can do against everybody else.
Well, we all know about Norwegian beast, don't we? You know.
Took him. How long have I been in this bloody stream? Get me off. Right, I'm going on.
It's the only reason I kept this top on today, to be fair. Let's have a look at some of the comments. And Doug's in. He says, evening. So evening to yourself. Doug's also a member of the channel. Mackie's as well. He says, good evening all. Missed the preview show. Just watched it back. I made this one, though. I knew you wouldn't miss this one. Mac has a proper setup. I'm pen and paper, literally lastminute.com. Mac's got like a full-on like page on his laptop or whatever up, writing his scores down to keep up. I admire the dedication. Look, see, he even remembers it.
On our channel, we've got we did this last season. We do a prediction show ourselves as well on Sheffield United Way. And there's a woman in our comment, Shazbat, who's absolutely fantastic, but she's tracking all of my scores, all of my guest scores, and all of the viewer scores as well from our chat on YouTube.
Wow.
And she's just monitoring them every week, keeping a tally to see how we're all doing. It's insane. But obviously really, really welcome. It's always great when someone can contribute like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's good. It's good when we get people like that. You said there as well, you're part of the Sheffield United way. Me being the rude arsehole and just wanting to get in the Sanderberg t-shirt in. Tell people where they can show their support to you. And obviously, yeah, you're a Sheffield United fan for your sins. But yeah, just tell people where they can show their support to you.
I tell you what, this season, very much for me sins. Fortunately, things turning around a little bit. But no, you can find me on Twitter. So I'm at Beastly Oli. You can find the channel on Twitter at the Sheffield United Way. We're also on YouTube, and you can start to listen to our podcast now on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere else. If you just search for Sheffield United Way, we've got numerous old player interviews which are really, really good. If I do say so myself. And actually, I don't even host them, so maybe I should say they're rubbish and they'll get me on in the future. But they're not. They're definitely worth it. But yeah, if you like what you hear, give us a follow. Come and find us on YouTube. And yeah, we do our own prediction show that if I beat Dan this week, I think I earned the right to take him on, right?
Mate, you weren't the right to take over the whole damn show, mate. I'm shite, so don't worry about it. Doug in the chat says, massive happy birthday to you for yesterday.
Hey, thank you very much. Really appreciated, mate.
It's always good. It's always good to have someone a little bit older than me.
Oh, I know how old you are, and I'm not older than you, my friend.
No, I am joking. I am 1 year closer to, or 1 centimeter closer to the floor. In certain areas, age is not my friend.
Yeah, I've got 1 year left before I hit the big 30, and that's one that I'm tentative. 12
to
months
be honest,
away yet, so
I was like, I kept saying to Mrs. I'm like, I'm not going to hit 30. I said, I'll be dead before I'm 30, mate. Nah, not touching it. I said, either my liver will pack in, my kidney will both kidneys will give up at the same time. Just my sort of luck. And then
Nice.
Anyway, she threw me a surprise 30th. And as soon as I was like, oh wow, everyone, she went, morning after, I'm rough as shit. She goes, told you won't die in your teeth. I feel dead. This is a dream. Take it away.
That was it. You see, you thought that was the night that was going to do you. You thought, I'm not going to get to 30 because I'm going to die at my surprise party.
That's what it is. Surprise. Heart attack. Bang. Done.
Gone.
Not even cut the cake yet. You tight bastard, and everyone's here. Max is not sure why he even bought Mount regarding Manchester United. What's his actual preferred position? Bench. Doug says, am I right in saying Burnley beat Dundee United 6-0 in a behind closed door game and 3-0 over Manchester United too? Yes, they did. And before this, I went over to the Man United agenda, which we're talking about. the Burnley loss, and how Eric Ten Hag is sort of under a bit of pressure, even though it was just a not mid-season friendly, but a bit of a midweek friendly. Still, I had to stick some sort of comment in the chat. It'd be rude not to when you go and beat Manchester United 3-0. So,
a word.
yeah, exactly. So I said, this is what happens when you recall Johnny Evans back and stuff like that. And I was just going in. You'd have had more fun with Jemba in midfield. I was just going off on that, just having fun with them. And they were all like, hey, he's a good Burnley channel. And then in the next breath, why are you in here? What are you doing? Man United fans giving me crap like, way. Exactly. Max is playing Dundee's like playing Kettering Town. Well, exactly. Flip says 3-0 today, true, but Eric Ten Hag didn't play the first team from Sketcher reporting. Yeah, no one even knows who bagged, to be honest. Strange. Mrs. B is in again. Wherever I lay my hat, that's her home. And that's not Paul Young saying it, that's me. Nate says evening. Flip is still on a flip about Mount. True Reds talk about Mason Mount. And the missus says the surprise birthday party happened days before your 30th, so you got past the hangover stage to get to 30 at least. Happy 40th for tomorrow. Why? Why would you do that? You know full well I'm not 40, Kate, you little shit. Sat upstairs, giving it the bigger.
You're starting to look it now, aren't you?
I'm deducting her points. Trust me. She needs to realise I keep the points here. If I want to wipe her out and get second place, she's going to get some Reading and Southend treatment if she keeps coming up.
Dangerous.
Carry on, love. You'll end up like Bury. Which means probably in about 2 or 3 years she'll come crawling out the woodwork like, I'm back. Drew Red says a Jordan Bayer hat trick, I think. Mate, I would take that. Speaking of which, obviously, let's talk about your first 2 games of the season.
Mm-hmm.
What have you made of it? Like I said, transfers recently have got better. I think since Berg and Illumin and Dar, because the last time we spoke, there was videos being done, new contracts, and then it was all just like, nah. I mean, like I say, what's changed? I mean, Hamer's a brilliant signing. Like you said to me earlier, Archer coming in.
It could be exciting. Good. It's one of them where, like you say, earlier in the summer, we were starting to feel a little bit, we had the comments that, are they trying to do a derby? Oh, are they, have they just come to make up the numbers? And, I understood it, with, coming up, getting promoted. I don't think we got promoted in the most exciting circumstances. I think after January, we got the transfer embargo and things weren't exactly as free-flowing as maybe they were for yourselves in that end of the season run that you managed to get on. But then losing Sander Berger, I saw the team that we put out against Crystal Palace in the first game. And honestly, I was thinking we'd be in a championship relegation battle, never mind a Premier League relegation battle, because that first 11 just looked absolutely nowhere near it. But we've got our recruitment in the door now. Vinny Souza looks a fantastic addition. I think he's going to be a really good player once he's up to the speed of the game. Gustavo Hamer or however you pronounce the surname, just a fantastic. I genuinely believe he's an upgrade on Sanderberg, and I'm not saying that just because I'm still a little bit salty about it. And then, like we've talked about, there's lots of reports that Cameron Archer is going to be a Sheffield United player before too long, expecting it to be announced either today or tomorrow, and I just think that's an insane sign, and I think he absolutely changes what we can look at this season, and hopefully that gives us a bit more of a fighting chance. And I'm looking at our squad and thinking, yeah, you know what, we can actually stay up this year, because for a long time it was a bit of a write-off.
I mean, it was looking bleak with the games, the Premier League fast approaching, and players literally, it looks like we're jumping ship, but all of a sudden, 3 or 4 come waltzing through the door at once, and you're a bit like, okay, yeah, I can get on board with this. So, again, it's one of them where a lot of people will rat teams like ourselves, yourselves, Luton. They'll rat us off at our own peril, but that's what we enjoy. Clubs like us thrive under that. We'll just be the underdog.
Yeah, it's always suited us as well. It's that kind of, if we're coming up, we're trying to upset the apple cart, people are writing us off. Definitely suits United a lot better than ever being fancied or anything like that. So certainly I'm feeling a lot more positive at the minute than I was. I still think there's some more players to come in. Lots of talk about Facundo Pellistri coming from Manchester United. He will hopefully be the next one through the door after Cameron Archer. And suddenly I think it's starting to look like we've got a team that we're putting together. And then, maybe one more before deadline day. But yeah, we do feel as though we're in a much better position than we were before. I at least think we might score a goal now, which if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I'd have said we'll probably get about 5 through the season if we're lucky.
I mean, Flip says there, what's the Pellistri news? I mean, does it look close or?
Yeah, I think it's fairly close. So obviously he's been in the Man U squad, so Man U are still trying to take their decision. You might have heard that they've had, a little bit of things going on over the last few days that they've been having to sort out themselves. So obviously they've just been slowing it down a little bit, just trying to understand where they're at. But as far as I understand, Pellistri is still due to come to Sheffield United on loan. We're fairly confident that the deal will happen, but it might be after this weekend's games now.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. There we go. Also, may I add the link to Oli's Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it is in the description of this video, and also the link to the Sheffield United Way YouTube channel is also in there as well. So please do go show your support, and if you need someone who's a very knowledgeable Sheffield United fan, then ask Oli if his mate's available.
Oh, here we go.
This is what you signed up for.
I did. I knew what was coming, so it's all right. And next time I'll go on No Nay Never, so it'll be fine.
Kick me in the feels. We all work together, I swear.
Yeah, that's what we say as well. Oh, we're all friends. Just want to see everyone do well.
Did you see the views they got compared to? No.
He must be paying for him. What? No. What?
Right then, match week 3. Guys, like I say, guys, gals, microwaves, and whatever you want to be in the chat, get your predictions in. Let us know who you think is going to get this. Now, I've said it to everyone, and I'll explain the rules again, just in case people are new here. But this time around, last few seasons, we've just done it where you pick a team to win. This time, we are going for an actual scoreline. So, as I say, if your scoreline is correct with the real result, 3 points. If it's, you've gone for Chelsea to beat Luton 4-1, but it finishes 3-1, you still get a point because Chelsea won. Hopefully, that's quite self-explanatory to you all. If not, then I suggest wait until this ends, quote between the 1850 to 1836 mark, and reread those rules time and time again until it finally sinks in, because I don't think I could have put it any simpler. However, I did look at every possible avenue to try and dumb it down just for 1 or 2 people. I'll let you all fight about that in the chat. That said, let's get into it then. First game up is definitely not that, because we've already had that. So I clearly got to take that out of the slides.
Oh, that's just another plug. Yeah. I know what you're doing. We've all seen the games.
99p, like a McDonald's saver menu item. It's only 99p. Treat yourself. What would you want? A burger and diabetes, or Burnley content? That's
content in it. Burnley content all day long for 99p. Yeah. Oh, they've already had the money's worth just on these last 19 minutes.
Exactly. Look, if I have to create a monopoly every month, and give out something for free, then you just got to do it. It's either that or OnlyFans. And to be honest, I'm not going there.
I don't think you'd make that much on there, mate. I'm not going to lie.
Mate, I'm tempted to shave my big toe and just put them on Feet Finder with a bit of nail varnish. I'm trying everything now. I'm trying everything.
I reckon that could work. You've given me a career plan.
Yes. See, I'm before 30, mate. You'll be a millionaire. Mr. Rodriguez says, I could go for some McNuggets, and says, gotta sell the channel. Exactly. You've got to promote it. Doug wants to know how we did last week. So before we get into the first one, Doug, you absolutely nailed it. I think you got 9 points. You got 9 points altogether last week, which was absolutely tremendous. Kate got 5 or 6, and I got an Ollie and got 3.
Ooh. I got 4 on our channel last week.
Oh, you got 4.
Yeah, you see, I was lucky enough to get 4 because we do, as part of our predictions, a banker where you get double points. So I technically got 3, but I got a double pointer for a 4 because that's the only thing
Nice.
that made it respectable.
It's one more than 3. I can take it. Exactly. Chelsea at home then, starting off against Luton, a all London affair, pretty much. How do you see this one going? I mean, Luton, these are the sort of games where a team like Luton could go there, get absolutely annihilated, or come out with a shock result.
Yeah, I think this one's a really difficult game to predict. You know, as part of my research, I've gone back to try and see, like, oh, when did these two last play each other? It must be something great. 1991. So there's not loads to learn from it. Football hadn't even been invented then. You know what I mean? That's just bizarre.
I was invented in 91, you shit house.
Well, you know, some
You
of us have
saying
got a
I'm
bit of
older
time
than
left yet.
football?
You're older than
That's
football.
bullshit. Sir Tom Finney gets a statue and I'm doing fucking YouTube. That's
But yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting game. I think it might actually be quite fun. I think this is the kind of game where Luton are going to be big. They're going to be awkward. I think they're going to be competitive. I think they're going to really make it as difficult as they can for teams like Chelsea to be able to play. And I do see them being successful, but just not away at Chelsea. I think they'll do fine. I think they'll have a much better season than being predicted. But it's really hard to go away to some of the big teams like this in your first season in the Premier League. So I'm going a good game, but 2-1. To Chelsea, I think.
2-1 Chelsea. You know
2-1 Chelsea.
My missus has gone for the same.
Ooh.
She's gone 2-1 Chelsea as well. Exactly. Hey, I mean, I know. Mr. Rodriguez says Luton 1, Billionaires wasted 0. Shane's gone for a 1-1. Luke's gone for a 3-0 win to the home side. Hearts with Luton, but Head says 2-0. Doug says 2-0. Chelsea. And Mrs. B says 3-0 to Chelsea. Mr. B's been nice and given Luton 1. So
generous of him. I think it's Chelsea is such a hard team to predict, aren't they? Because you see them week to week, and they've got so many players that I've got genuinely no idea whether they're going to be. Like, are they going to put a good 11 out? Are they going to put a completely different 11 out that I wouldn't predict? You know, I thought they looked all right against Liverpool, and then I thought they looked rubbish against West Ham. I know, obviously, when they missed the penalty, that's a huge turning point in the game, but they were just so open on the break. I felt as though West Ham had none of the ball, but could just counter and damage and just cause problems for them time and time again. And I think Luton are going to thrive on that kind of environment. And that's why I think this is just a slightly awkward one. I do think Luton will get a goal, but I just think they'll lose.
Oh, that's a fair shout. I'm sort of same as you. I've gone for a 2-0 scoreline to Chelsea. I just think Luton's firepower may be a little bit lackluster. I don't know whether their arse will fall out at the bridge. I don't know. I can see it. Confirmation there from my good lady herself, which now gets me an extra 10 brownie points. Means that she's confirmed her 2-1 score. But yeah, Doug says it there. Robert Sanchez doesn't look great in the Chelsea goal. I mean,
wasn't he like Brighton's third choice? Like, how does Brighton's third choice become number 1 at Chelsea?
The thing is, the keeper situation at Brighton has always been a strange one for me because I thought who was it that they had originally? Matt Ryan. I thought Matt Ryan were brilliant, and then they're like, oh, he's not good enough. So they loaned him to Arsenal. And then I'm like, all right, he's clearly not good enough. He's going out on loan to, Arsenal or something. And then obviously gets replaced with like Sanchez and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's weird. It's really, really strange.
I can't get me around Jason Steele. Like, I've never thought he was any good. Like, I've got no idea how he's a Premier League goalkeeper now. But surely Verbruggen or somebody like that comes in and he's not going to be number 1 for long.
No, I have to laugh at what Max said here. Guy in the picture thinks it's going to be 3-6, or is that a 0? The Chelsea player there giving his prediction. He's getting himself
Love that.
involved. Except the Luton player's got his skull lamp behind his back. I'm sure of it. He's like, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you.
Not giving the game away.
I know.
He's got 2-1 Luton behind his back. He knows they're going to go away and win.
Either that, or he's flicking V's at him.
More likely.
Mr. Rodriguez says they are going to get the Revs GK, who I see every week, because watching the Revs here in the US, because it's close to our house, is very good. So it would be an upgrade over the one they have at the moment. Will surely be interesting. Chelsea have gone through a fair few decent keepers, and they've got rid of them. So it's going to be a struggle for them. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 on that one. Just going a bit further south, down onto the south coast, just a little bit. Bournemouth taking on Spurs at the Vitality Stadium, Dean Court. I'm not having none of this name buying shit. Bournemouth again. Spurs. Well, in fact, let's talk about Spurs first. A lot of people thought the appointment of Ange Postecoglou was going to be one of them, a bit like a Nuno signing. Come in and he's like second or third choice. But I firmly believe getting rid of Kane is the best thing Spurs could have done. Secondly, Postecoglou's way of football, I think, will help Spurs in the long run.
Completely agree on the point about Postecoglou. I think he's going to be fantastic for Spurs, to be honest. I really think they've brought somebody in there. They've seen what he was doing at Celtic, the way that he got that Celtic team playing the game. And that's what they needed. They'd had so many of these defensive coaches just sort of inhibiting what they try and do as such a dynamic attacking team. So I think it's really important that they got this appointment right. I think it's going to be a lot of fun as well this season. What I've been looking at, I think they've given up 2 XG in all their games, but also created 2 XG. So clearly they're end-to-end. They're just exciting. They're going to be really great to watch. And I think that's what Spurs fans wanted. I'm not so sure on Harry Kane. I still think he would thrive in this team, but 100 million quid, they can go out and just build the team around. They've already got fantastic attackers. They've still got Son. They've still got, I know he gets laughed at, but Richarlison, I think, is a fantastic player. So They can certainly build their team. They've lost a world-class player, but they're still looking for something else. But yeah, I think they're going to be really exciting. I am looking forward to watching a lot of Spurs this year because I just think they're going to be a lot of fun. I'm not sure they're going to be any good, but I think they are definitely going to be fun.
Nah, and they've already, confidence is high. They've won a cup. Audi Cup, but still.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Got to win something. When you're Tottenham, you get that on the honours board and you get it celebrated.
Definitely. They be like, have you won a trophy in your? Oh, what trophy? Yeah. I can't remember the name. It were a different sponsor back then, but it were definitely a big ass trophy.
Yeah, they always change name of them, don't they? One of them old sponsors. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I think it might have been a car. Anyway, I've got to
go. I mean, how do you see this one faring? Bournemouth obviously under new management as well this season. They've done pretty well in the transfer market as well with some of the signings they've made.
Yeah, I do quite like them this season. It really annoys me because I've spent now probably 10 years being annoyed at Bournemouth, and I will be very open about my own level of bitterness. They went up above us in League One when they had that Russian guy just trying to buy them through the leagues and took them all the way to the Premier League. Fair play to him. It's been successful, but I will forever sit here and go, wait a minute, we're below Bournemouth. But they do look as though they're building a fairly good team at the minute. I like the new manager. I think Iraola looks like he's going to be a really good addition. Obviously, really highly rated for what he'd done in Spain last year as well. They're another team, though, that look to have these really open games. And I think it's going to suit both teams how open the opposition are. Against Liverpool last week, Liverpool were able to just cut through Bournemouth and really create chances. But Bournemouth themselves had 2 or 3 chances. They scored really early on in that game. And I think that is the kind of thing that means this is going to be exciting. Now, some random stats for you that mean absolutely nothing, just coincidences, but are a little bit of fun. 3 of the last 4 games between these two teams have finished 3-2, and both games last season finished 3-2 to the away team. So I'm just going to do that for the Bants and say Tottenham 3-2.
Tottenham 3-2. No worries. I'll put that down. Although I nearly wrote 2-2 because I'm thick and clearly can't write properly.
+1.
The missus did put her prediction in. Yeah, +1. She's gone for 3-0. She's not even given Bournemouth a sniff. She's not even given them a sniff of goal in that one. Max is there. Kulusevski is a decent player as well. Mrs. B says Spurs are going down this season. I'm saying 1-0 Bournemouth, but may have to eat my hat and say 2-1 Spurs.
This is
That's a politician's answer, isn't it? That's a politician answer. Come on, Mrs. B. Doug says was very impressed with Bournemouth last week. Unlucky to lose 3-1. Iriola has done well, but so happy for Postecoglou. He will take no shit in the dressing room. Max says Son, Madison, Kulusevski need a number 9 because don't rate Richarlison. Big baby, as Roy Keane was here. Baby, he's a baby. He's a baby. But
I'm not trying the accent.
Nah. I end up sounding when you're a northerner trying an Irish accent. Sometimes you come across a bit Jamaican and racist. So it's
to be honest, every accent I do ends up really questionable because I can't do any. I can do my own and literally nothing else. And so I just
half the time I struggle with my
safer
own.
not to do it live, and I'm talking myself into it, but I'm not going to do it live. So it's fine.
I really don't know what to go for this one. You know, I'm going to go opposite to what you said. You said that usually they're quite high-scoring games. I'm going to go boring 1-0 Spurs.
Ooh.
I'm going to say, yeah, boring. This is why I finished bottom of these, mate. To be fair, because it's like last week. I think I did I think I put 3-3 for one of the games, and it was nowhere near.
Yeah, this is the thing. I have to admit, this is one of the things that always strikes me when you're doing these kind of things is you want to throw in just one a week. And I know it sounds ridiculous.
Throw in a bigger.
Want to throw in a bit of a daft one, don't you? You want to be like, yeah, I'll tell you what, 3-3, definitely. And so it's a tricky one to try and get that balance right when you actually want to get a decent score.
It is. And Doug says Oli should try a Scottish accent.
No, he shouldn't. No.
For a moment, I thought he was
No, I'm all right. I don't want to get cancelled, mate. I didn't come here to get cancelled.
No bother, mate. No bother. Doesn't matter. There you go. There you go, Doug. There you go, mate. Have your Scottish accent, roll it up, and stick it up your arse. That said, that's as far as my Scottish goes. Otherwise, I'll start bursting into Rabsy Nesbitt or something like that.
Maybe not for now. Save that one for the parties.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Speaking of arses, Arsenal taking on Fulham. Beautiful little plug there. In fact,
nice.
I can't believe I'm talking about arses and beautiful plugs. This is why I do this show at 9 o'clock, because it just goes like...
Welcome to Dan's Saturday night show. Where
Mate, in a minute, it's going to be top off and shake it phone telling people to ring up, but he's not getting that bad.
Whatever you've got to do to get the viewers in, mate. Whatever you've got to do. It's no shame.
99p per calendar month, but what I mean is it's 99p per month. It's about 60 quid per phone call. But speaking of which, Mitrovic knows my secret. My secret's safe with him. He already knows that, and he's probably let one go. Martinelli's not smelt it yet. But Arsenal. A lot of people tipping them to actually go on and win the league this year, which is surprising. But Fulham, again, they're another tricky one. Are they going to have a second season syndrome under Marco Silva, or are they going to be able to still perform like they did?
Yeah, it's such a tricky one to predict. So I am one of those people who, if you'd asked me 3 weeks ago, I did actually tip Arsenal to win the league. I thought they got enough. I thought their recruitment was really good. Really like them bringing in Rice. Think he makes a huge difference to their team. But then I've seen them play, and I've really not been impressed by their last couple of performances. I know they've got 6 points, but I think that's really generous to them. You know, when you dive into the stats, didn't think they were very good against Forest, and actually they lost the XG with Forest creating quite a lot more in terms of the big chances. Similarly, when they've played against Palace, it's a really tight game that they've only won by a penalty. And it just all adds up to me a bit of a question mark against Arsenal. Now, I know game state plays a really big part in both of those games. You know, when you're 2-0 up or you're down to 10 men, you're always going to have difficult moments. And the fact they've ridden them out is probably a really good sign that they're going to be a bit grittier than normal. But I'm just not confident at all in their level of performance. So I think this is another tricky game. I'm going to go 1-1. I don't think they're going to win this. I think at some point they're going to drop points because I think that's what the performances deserve. I don't know why I've picked for it against Fulham because I think without Mitrovic, Fulham are potentially in a bit of trouble.
They are. They could be. They could be indeed. And yes, I understand, but it was a last minute thing, and I threw it together, and yeah, just is what it is. Look at the shirts, not the player wearing them. They're just models. They're not even footballers. They're just models. They're just expensive
A
models.
man can never be held to account for his graphics during a transfer window. That's always the rule.
No. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's 1 minute you're doing a transfer show on someone being linked with your club, and then 20 minutes later, there's somebody doing a transfer show with him wearing the colours of their club, and you're just like, whoa, what you playing at?
Yeah. Spend all day preparing my Cameron Archer graphics only to get an alert that he's going somewhere else tomorrow, and I'll cry.
Doug's gone 3-1. Luke's gone for 1-0 Arsenal. The missus says, excuse me. Is that what the 99p is for? 4 subs to your YouTube? Or... Now, that's some weird crossover, but yeah, it's not what the 99p is for. It's to go to London to buy a Heat magazine. Max says, cheating bar stewards 2-1. Guessing he means Arsenal.
I think he means Arsenal.
Doug says Tomiyasu red card was a joke, and Mrs. B says 1. But to who, Chris Kamara? I don't know, Jeff. No, she's done it right. No politics this time. 2-0 Arsenal.
I respect that. You know, off the fence, giving us a prediction. That's what you want to see.
It's a big jump, big ass fence she created for herself there. But you know what? I'm same as you, Mrs. B. I think I'm going to go 2-0. And my missus went 2-0 as well. So, you know, hopefully third time's a charm. However, probably not. Next up, though, another all-London clash, similar to this one. Brentford taking on Crystal Palace. Brentford at home, always tricky game. Always a tricky counter at the G-Tech, whatever.
Some sort of community stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. It got sold its name, didn't it? G-Tech. God knows.
Who knows what they call them these days? That little place in London.
Some place with 4 stands that could easily be classed as a landfill.
Just a bus stop in Hounslow, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Palace is a surprise one for me because I think, again, I haven't done these edits, Doug, with the kits. I have. There's a certain website called Optus Sports that I've sort of casually just used.
Scandalous.
I know. Can you believe it? I'm like Robin Hood. I'm stealing from the not so rich and giving to the. You're not. How do I word this without basically making everyone sound like paupers?
So yeah, good luck.
Mrs. B, when you finish with that shovel, can you think of a governmental answer for me, please? Struggling here. But no, there is a kick clash there. I get that. 1-1, Mr. R says, but also went 2-0 to Arsenal in the previous one. Doug says Brentford 2-1 over Palace. Ducky's gone 4-0 Brentford. Missy's gone with a 1-1 draw. Mr. B's gone 1-0. Shane's gone 2-1 to Brentford. A lot of 2-1s coming in for the Bees.
Yeah,
from Mac
everybody
and Colin
seems
there.
Really confident for Brentford, don't they? But I do agree with them, to be honest. I think Brentford have looked good so far. I think they're unlucky not to beat Spurs, battered Fulham. Don't seem to be missing Ivan Toney that much. I think they'll win this. I wasn't impressed with Palace when we played them on the opening day.
What would you say then, scoreline wise? The missus has gone 1-1.
I'm going 1-0. I'm going 1-0 to Brentford. Like I say, Palace, I've described Palace as like the quintessential we're good enough to stay up and not good enough to do anything else kind of team. You know, they played probably the worst 11 that United are going to put out all season, only beat us 1-0, weren't exactly running riot over us. And so it's a tricky one for me. I don't think they're that good. I think they will still finish about 14th and be very comfortable. But I think Brentford are better than that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've gone and thrown my curveball. I have said Brentford are going to win, but I've gone for a 3-2 scoreline.
Ooh, exciting.
I've gone big, a bit like my underwear after 2 pints.
Nice.
Doug said, Doug, I have not missed your joke, Doug. I have not missed your joke. It is there. A lorry carrying snooker equipment has crashed on the motorway. There was queues in both directions. I need a button that just goes like, well, I won't even give that a wah, 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 wah. That I just get like a yes.
Yeah.
We love it, Doug. We love it, really.
We do
love
indeed.
it. I can't miss out your jokes. Can't miss out your jokes. I thought all your predictions were a curveball. Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. You know what? Fair play, Kate. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Tell you what. I'll tell you something now. She's in for a shock tomorrow when I open my birthday presents and I go, fuck's that? She'll make sure I open Burnley shirt first now, just so I go, what the fuck's that? Just...
Oh no, I can't insult it.
I can't do it. Mrs. B's gone 2-1 Palace. And Ducky has become a member. Wee he must be the Ducky. How you doing, pal? Thank you for becoming a member. I really appreciate it. And I know you've wanted my member for years. But however, you're married, and I'm glad you are, because it takes the pressure off me nearly accepting your offer. Anyway.
He'll do alt for 99p.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. 99p and how many ones? Don't even get me started on Jaeger bombs and stuff. This is a joke, Kate, by the way, because I know I'm going to have an abundance of messages probably on my phone and all sorts of whatever. But
just make the live stream last as long as you can, and it'll all be smooth. You'll be fine by the time we're done.
Trust me, I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare do anything for 99p. I swear. Something in my eye. Swiftly on to relegation favourite candidates, Everton and Wolves. This is another one that the games seem to be quite, tough to call.
Yeah,
this is the sort of game where it could either kickstart somebody's season.
Yeah, I think this is a really difficult one to call. I think it's quite a tough week, to be honest, because I think these two are both going to be right down at the bottom. I don't think either of them are very good at chance creation. If they do create chances, they're rubbish at conversion, as we saw from Wolves against Man U in that opening game. Both of them got done for 4 last week. Both of them have got no points from 2 games. So I think this one's really hard to call because, I've been out there, I've said they can't create any chances, but both of them concede loads of goals. So this feels to me like it's either going to be just a massive goal fest, end to end, neither team really able to control the game, or you're going to have a really boring game where neither team can attack. I think this would just do so much momentum for either team that can win it. I think it's massive. I don't want to call it a 6-pointer because it's the 3rd game of the season. Let's not be ridiculous. But I really think this is a huge game if either team is able to win. But I don't think they will. I think it's going to be really, really rough to watch 0-0.
Mate, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm going 0-0. And whoa. Again, I can't write properly because I nearly just put 1-0 to Wolves.
That would have been an interesting prediction.
You know what? This could just be an omen where my hand's basically saying, look, you're getting it right, mate.
I can hear you're getting the voices, aren't you?
It's like that clairvoyant who just puts pen on paper, just shuts their eyes, and next minute they've drawn the picture of somebody that they can see in the mind.
And you've seen a 1-0 Wolves win. What a talent.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Hopefully, these are all just the numbers. If I add them all up to a certain point, it'll give me the actual lottery numbers.
Imagine. End of the season, that's what you should do. You should add each week together and see if you can put it on.
Ooh. Yeah, I might do that. I'll probably forget, but I'll probably do that.
And it'd probably lose, but still, it might be a laugh.
Yeah. It's only a quid, innit? I lose more than that every weekend at bookies anyway.
Yeah.
0-0, Colin says. Hope you're well, Colin, as well. Long time no see. Doug's gone for a 1-0 Wolves, funnily enough.
Liverpool
Wolves have
fan
more
writing
attacking presence.
Writing off Everton. I mean, come on. Never saw it coming.
to go for a drab 0-0, but going to say 1-1. Ducky's gone 2-1 to Wolves. Luke's gone 2-0 Wolves. Shane's gone 1-0 to Wolverhampton. Mac's got 50 minutes in, and we are only on game 5. Got work in the morning. Listen, Mac.
He's not got work
We are
tomorrow.
going to shoot through these. We are going to shoot through these. Don't you worry about it. Mr. B says 1-1. I haven't got you a Burnley shirt. You know that. Also, yeah, you probably will say, what the fuck is that? I had to go back and watch this part. Shit. Can't find a spade, so I'm saying 1-0 Wolves. Apparently, I'm a snake on the sly. Everyone knows it.
This is the divorce in real time, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to see the moment his spirit breaks, he'll do it when he reads the next message. Oh, and there it is. You can see the sadness in his eyes.
It says Amelia, but with completely random picture. But so it goes 2-1, and I'm guessing to Wolves. With it being the away score anyway. But yeah, I'm with you. I think 0-0. Kate's gone 1-1, so we're all sort of on that similar path with that one. Manchester United taking on Forest. Again, not my graphics, so all the mount shit at the start and a kit clash and everything else. They're both playing red. Do one. But yeah, Kate, why have you said 1-1 again for this one? When you haven't, you've gone 2-1. You did this last week. You put the wrong one in. You're trying to get 2 results one week. You cheating, biatch. I'm telling you now. That said, Manchester United taking on Forest at Old Trafford. How do you see this one going?
I mean, look, elephant in the room, Man U are in a right mess, aren't they? They're an absolute shambles. We don't want to go into all of it, but very clearly they're just in a complete mess at the moment. Their defeat to Spurs last week, I mean, that's also a bit of a damaging one. You know, they really feel as though they should have been coming into the season with a little bit more momentum. They got a very, very lucky win against Wolves. Wolves should have had a penalty. To be honest, anybody who watched it, Wolves were the better team in that game. So I don't think that Man U are particularly good at the start of this season, and I don't think they're going to dominate this game. But we played Forest last week. And don't get me wrong, probably just about over 90 minutes, Forest deserved to beat us. But in the second half, even with our not quite fully ready team, we managed to get on top of them. We had 30 minutes where we were the sort of dominant team in the game, and we were really looking to try and take it to them and to try and really get the winner in the second half. And so if we, in our current state, can get on top of them for half an hour, Manchester United almost certainly can get on top of them for at least half an hour. And I think if they do that, they've got more than enough attacking talent to win this game. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Man U.
2-0 Man U. Nice. Luke, he is a Forest fan. And would be happy with a point. I mean, yeah, any point away from home's a decent point. And like I say, it's another one of them teams that could have second season syndrome. We'll see. Kate went 2-1. Kate went for 2-1 in this one. You've gone 2-0. It's the one. I second guess myself. In my head, I'm like, yeah, United are in a mess. But it's just that time where you go, oh, I'm not going to touch that result. And United get an absolute 4-0 win or something like
And
that.
at the end of the day, when you're our age, this is Manchester United still at the end of the day, innit?
Yeah.
There's not going to be many weeks I predict them to lose, I'm sure.
I'm going for it. Manchester United 4, Nottingham Forest 0.
Ooh,
Sorry,
he's
Luke.
gone big.
Sorry, Luke. Ellis Davies, hope you're well. Shitchester 2, Notts Wood 0.
Nice.
I like
And
it.
what'll upset the Forest fans isn't anything to do with the wood. It'll be that you called them knots.
The Notts. Mrs. B says 2-1 Forest, considering we beat Man U today 3-0, wasn't it? Yes, it certainly was. I'm actually called Steve. My daughter's been on my account, little sod. I'm going for 3-0. No worries, Steve. No worries. I thought so much. I saw your picture and I thought, fair enough, in today's society, can't judge. But yeah, I'm glad you cleared that up anyway. You cleared that up. And we're back. We're back. He's name changing everything. Name changing everything. What a man. Steve is the man. I'm actually called Steve. My daughter's been on my account, little sod. Trust me, I'm sure you had to change the wording after 3 or 4 times before you settled on sod. I know I would have done. But 3-0 United, Steve's going for as well. So similar thinking that United are going to romp this one. Speaking of teams romping the division at the minute, although we are only 2 games in, and I said it last week, it's still very, very weird seeing Danny Ings with a bald head. But Brighton, West Ham, a lot of people were writing West Ham off, weren't they? Saying that, Moyes is going to be the first managerial casualty. They're going to lose the big players in terms of, Paqueta's still potentially off to City. We don't know yet.
Might get banned first.
Well, yeah. And like I say, Brighton, no matter what they do, no matter what player gets good, leaves for stupid amounts of money, there's always like this guy that just goes, it's all right, mate, I can step into those boots. It's like they've almost found a glass slipper and Cinderella just keeps walking on going, I'm Cinderella. Oh, yeah, you must be. Your shoe fits every single time.
It's insane, isn't it? Honestly, every year I think they've peaked. I'm like, oh, Brighton have peaked. They'll not get any better. They'll probably drop away now and drop back down to Championship. They'll become one of them teams that drop down and can't quite reach these levels again. But then they always seem to get better. They've won the last 3 games against West Ham. Obviously won both their opening games this season 4-1. But you know what? I said it earlier when we talked about Chelsea. I actually was really impressed by West Ham in that victory last week. They hardly had any of the ball, but they really created lots of chances. They punished Chelsea whenever they were sloppy, every mistake they made. And I think this will be a similar kind of game. I think Brighton will dominate the ball. Brighton will be the ones who are in control of the game, but West Ham will punish them and will cause them problems on the break. So I'm going to say 2-2. I think this will be a good watch and fairly entertaining.
Sure will. Doug says, that's 115 million to concede a penalty. True.
Yeah, he's not wrong, but also, I think there'll be a lot more to his game than just that one penalty. Although, to be fair, at Chelsea, they might send him on loan to Vitesse or whoever it is that they own now.
Yeah, probs. West Ham have never beaten Brighton in the Premier League. But again,
I don't think they will.
No. What score did you say for that one then?
2-2 I've gone. A Desmond.
Oh, a Desmond. I like it. I do like it. You and my other half have gone for draws. She's gone 1-1. You've gone 2-2. Don't know whether I should just go 0-0 till we just got a vibe going.
We've covered it all then, haven't we, as well?
Yeah. No. No, 1-0 Brighton.
1-0 Brighton.
Yeah. 1-0 to
Vibe
Brighton.
took him.
It did. It'll finish 0-0 now, and I'll just feel sad.
Yeah.
Steve's gone 2-1 Brighton. They've got a good squad and they'll run properly. Yeah, they always seem to get themselves out of the shit no matter what they get in. They always come up smelling of roses. 3-1 Brighton. Shows what a good manager, staff and owners can do. That's why Burnley are winning the league, mate. I love your way of thinking.
It's quite a nice
I'm,
segue as well for his next game, to be fair, that one,
yeah,
Dan.
definitely. However, I do think he means probably like the Fair Play League or something.
The
Maybe,
championship next year.
Well, you certainly won't be making playoffs, will you?
Oh, no, we're going to be rubbish.
Enjoy playing Fleetwood and Forest Green.
I've done it before. We'll do it again.
But like you said, it was a perfect segue into it. Again, kick clash, sod you both, sod you all. But yeah, Burnley taking on Aston Villa. Like I said earlier off camera, Villa had a very good result today against Hibs in the conference qualifiers. And then dispatched of Everton like it was just nothing. Ollie Watkins is a man in form. And to be honest, I thought he was one of the players that Villa might have looked to have shipped out after Gerrard went. But under Emery, he's just found this like new lease of life and got going. However, Burnley's season hasn't really started yet. We've played City, not played last week. Can't really write much about Burnley other than that we did give a good account of ourselves against City and should have had a penalty. Should have potentially, we could have been looking at a different scenario if we had. But you're coming up against a team that's got a bit of, a genetic ogre up top that you struggle against. Yeah. This is going to be tough. This is going to be a tough one. On a Sunday afternoon at Turf Moor. I'm not exactly sure whether it's going to be peeing down or not, but it all adds to the mist of it. A tough one to call this.
Yeah, I found this one really tricky for basically the reasons that you've just said there, because I have no idea the level of Burnley this season. You were an outstanding championship team last year. You romped the division, but obviously it's now a step up. And Aston Villa are one of the teams who I think will be in that conversation for that top six. I think they've really impressed so far. I think they improved their team through the summer. But they've had a really Jekyll and Hyde start to the season. Obviously, they got done 5-1 at Newcastle, and then they did Everton 4-0. Like you say, they've won 5-0 today. But I've still got a lot of confidence that they're going to be a really, really good side. I think this game's really going to rely on how Burnley play against the Villa high line. So Villa obviously play a really high defensive line. Newcastle were really able to exploit that, create so many chances running in behind, and it really, really punished them. So the game is going to hinge on whether or not Burnley can exploit that the same way that Newcastle showed everybody. That's how you play against Villa. That's how you beat them. Now, I'm going to go with my preseason prediction. So I think Villa are going to be good. I think Burnley are going to be safe and fairly comfortable, but not quite as good as Villa. So I'm going to say 2-0 Villa, but that's with no confidence at all because it all depends on how Burnley have adapted. And there's just not enough to say that we've been able to see because one game against City, you can't judge anybody on what happens against City.
No, like I say, first goal, maybe Jordan Bayer could have gone in with his left foot, or his right foot, instead of his left, or vice versa. The second one, no keepers get into that. It clips the underside of the bar, goes in. There's nothing you can do. By that time, it's just game over. But
yeah, then it's damage limitation, isn't
it? Yeah. After that, it's just about keeping it respectable. Yeah. Steve seems to think it's our first 3 points, 3-1 to the Clarets. Out, mate. Where do you live? I want to snap your hand off because I will take it right now. Luke, love that. But I do love the fact that there's a lot of Burnley fans in here as well, being realistic and saying probably Villa will get the win here. It's so easy to say that Burnley will win it, and I'm one of them. I've gone for Burnley to win 1-0, so shove it up your ass and just have it.
Nice,
but no, I would. I think. It's one of them games where, like you said, Burnley play with quite a high line as well. And I don't know whether it's going to be a case of both teams just play this one out and it's just a case of who nicks it. But obviously, with Burnley being my team, I've got to back them. I had to. Unless it were against City, then I'd be like, nah.
I was going to say, let's not build up too much about backing your own team because I think we're up next, and I'm not going to match the precedent.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Yeah. Mrs. B says 2-1 Burnley. I hope. I was so pleased for a win on my first home game. You need to bring us that luck. Ducky says be a scrappy game. This going 2-1 Burnley. Ellis Davis thinks the same. Strong team of Villa, smashed Everton, but got smashed by Newcastle. up and down. Turf Moor is where we'll get most of our points. Only one claret and blue. Love that. Love that last bit. Shane says 2-1 Villa. Max says 4-2. Up the fucking clarets. Come on, lads. Yes.
Nice.
Yes, that's the belief and optimism we need. And Kate went for 2-1 as well. Right. So moving on to Newcastle Liverpool.
I tell you what, mate, I'm fine with it because I'm not looking forward to this one.
This again, I mean, I'll come to you for this. Like we said earlier, you've done some good business recently now. It's just about getting them to gel, fit, and work. Do you think
that.
Hecky's going to be able to do it? I mean, again, taking City out of the equation, I'm talking over the full season. Do you think Hecky's got it in him to, from a Premier League managerial perspective?
It's a really difficult one because, the last time when we came up with no expectation, we did it under Wilder. And obviously that was an incredible ride. And I think what we saw there was lots of tactical innovation, which really drove us to the position that we were in. We used to have a really dynamic system where we could overload teams. And we've not got that now. We've changed our system. So last year, anybody who watches the Championship would know we were quite reliant on individual brilliance. The year before we'd relied on Morgan Gibbs-White. Last season, we relied on Illiman and Dye. So the one thing that I'm looking for from Heckingbottom in these next few games is to how is he going to tactically make us different? So we're not just relying on individual brilliance, such as the Harmer goal against Forest the other day, and actually make us a team that can create chances consistently, that has an identity and a way that we're going to overload teams to create our own chances. Now, the recruitment has been a fantastic move. So bringing in Harmer, I'm really excited about. Bringing in Archer, I am unbelievably excited about. If you'd said to me at the start of the summer, you can have two players, I would have took Harmer and I would have took Archer because I think they're just both fantastic additions for what we are trying to do. So do I think that we've got enough? I think we'll be competitive. I think we've now got a chance of finishing 17th. I think if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I didn't think we did. I didn't think we had the squad for it. And I think looking at the team that we put out against Palace, everybody would agree with that. So yes, I do think he's got enough now that we can stay up this season. No, I don't think we've got enough that we can give Manchester City a game. And I think this one will be fairly humbling. Like I say, I'm confident for the season. I think we're a much better team than we were. But I think Sunday just comes a bit too early for us. I'm going to say City 4-0 because, I don't want to get my hopes up for anything even close to being respectable. They did us 3-0 last year, and I would argue the team that we played at Wembley last year was better than the one that's going to play on Sunday. And I would also argue that the team City played at Wembley last year was worse than the one that they're going to play on Sunday. So that all adds up to a little bit worse.
So you went 4-0 Man City.
I know, it's embarrassing, isn't it? I've let the side down. I've let the City down.
To be fair, I'm looking at Doug's comment here. Apparently, Pep not being on the touchline will be interesting in itself.
Back, I think. I think he's going to be having surgery on his back, so he's out. Obviously, there's no De Bruyne as well. And they have got a few injuries that they're struggling with, but obviously De Bruyne drops out and Foden comes in. Haaland is still fit. And so I think it's one of those where if I got an injury and you were like, oh, look at that, Gustavo Harmer can't play for United. Oh, who's going to play? Chris Basham. It's a little bit different. De Bruyne's injured, so Foden's coming in.
Oh, it's mad. To be fair, people are saying sorry, but people are going 3, 4, 5.
To be honest, I don't think they are sorry. But it's okay because I don't take it personal. It's what it's got to be. I think anybody realistically looking at this kind of game is going to say that Man City are so much better than United. United are one of the favourites to not just go down, but to finish bottom. And so completely understand where it's coming from. And to be honest, I've said 4-0. So it's really hard to roll. And to be honest with you, I've got as much chance as some of the strikers we've been playing so far this season. Honestly, if you saw the team, anybody, I know
like that.
Red in chat.
If it's like that.
See, he's not said sorry, has he?
No.
I see that one.
But yeah, go on. You were saying like True Red in the chat.
Yeah, True Red in the chat. He'll watched us the other day and he'll have seen us play against Forest. And I think he'll be able to sort of point out where we're missing that striker. We've been playing Asula and Traore. Now, Asula is going to be a fantastic player. I really think he's got all the attributes to be good. But currently, he's just not close to being ready. He should be in League One at most. He'd never started a game for United, I'm not sure he'd started more than about 5 games for anybody before this season. He's now started 2 consecutively in the Premier League. And that just shows the level that we've been playing at. We need McBurney fit. We need Archer through the door, and then we'll be better. But for now, I agree with Leicester for life, really. It's all on me. I need to get on pitch and show them what I'm all about.
I feel awful.
How many? Go on.
So I've given you 0.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll give City 7.
Oh, you see, now what I'm going to say here is this is personal, and this is because you got done 6 last year, and you've gone, I'll tell you what, they've got to be worse than us when we got done 6. It's fine, whatever. I can't wait to come on next week or to message you next week and be like, I think you find it was only 4, so you owe me an apology.
No, and if you get Southampton...
if we get Southampton, I'm not speaking to anybody ever again. Everybody be like, "Oh, what happened to that channel? The Sheffield United way? I remember it being all right." And I'm like, "Yeah, he quit. They lost 9-0, and he just quit. That
was it. Doug says there, are you happy with Cameron Archer coming in and obviously Pellistri?
Yeah, absolutely delighted with Cameron Archer. I think that, like I say, one of the players I really wanted through the summer. I think he makes such a difference. We saw, look at where Middlesbrough are at the moment. They've not started particularly well this season. The impact he had on their squad last year was the real reason that they were able to really challenge the top 2, even slightly getting close, because I think he got 11 goals, 6 assists in 19 games. Now, doing that at championship level is really impressive. So I'm definitely excited for him coming in, and I'm buzzing really for the opportunity for him to play for United, because I didn't think we stood a chance earlier this summer. In terms of Pellistri, it comes back to that point I was making about Hecky before and how we're trying to develop a tactic. And I think if Pellistri comes in, what he does is he gives us the opportunity to change system a little bit. Rather than playing 2 central strikers, we'll likely have the option to go to wingers, which then gives us the chance of creating those overloads I was referring to that we used to have with Wilder, maybe getting 2 or 3 players dragged out to a wing to create space for a cutback in the middle. So hopefully that's a positive sign for how we're trying to develop. So yeah, I'm quite excited for both.
I'm sure it'll all work out in the end.
Yeah, it'll be fine. What's the worst that can happen? 10.
7-0 against City.
Yeah. Had to be this week I came on, didn't it? You couldn't have me on when we play Everton next week.
Yeah. Or a free game week or something like that.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh, yeah, I know. Let's have him on that week. They play Man City at home. This will be great.
True Red says, first half we dominated, got the early goal 2 minutes 19 seconds in after half time. Sheffield United came out the blocks. Yeah, it is. It happens like that. Football can be funny like that. You never know, mate. You could upset the apple cart. You could really upset the apple cart.
We could. It'd take a miracle, but we could. But it's one of those where, we've seen ridiculous results happen before. So you have to just turn up, hope and dream and hope for it. And then we'll see where that takes us. Now, realistically, I don't think it's going to happen. But that's the whole reason we watch football, isn't it? Just in case one day something ridiculous does happen and your team win. I've seen us, last time we were in the Premier League, I saw us batter Manchester United at Bramall Lane and then in 5 minutes throw it away to draw 3-3. So, we take the good with the bad. It's part of watching football, isn't it? And yes, it's the same Pellistri who played today.
It is. If he shipped 3 today, that means he's only got 4 to shift this weekend. So
something like that.
It all works out. Just in case you forgot who Bruno Guimaraes plays for, that's Newcastle. He's just letting you all know. And Salah's basically trying to tell you can get your haircut here. And just off picture, it's some sort of Egyptian barbers. That said, Newcastle take on Liverpool. This should be a good one at St James's Park. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this one, to be fair. Again, Liverpool and Klopp definitely need a better season than last year.
Yep.
Newcastle, for me, I was sort of a little bit, now they've got Champions League. Is that going to hinder their season? Is it going to cost them? Are they going to do a Liverpool where, when Liverpool won the league, it was almost like they ran out of steam? Are Newcastle going to get to that point under Eddie Howe? But they just seem to carry on that flow of how they ended the season before, and in a steady pace. This is going to be a good game to see where Newcastle are at in terms of as a club, as players, whether they are classed as one of the teams amongst the elite. The last game to call, but a very tough one.
Yeah, I think this one's really interesting as well. I think it's going to be a really fun game. So, we saw Newcastle and they were really dominant, really destructive when they played against Villa. Cheers, mate. They were one of them where they were dominant, they were destructive. They got 5 goals and really exploited those gaps in the Villa system. Whereas when they played City, they completely changed their tactic. They were trying to be containing. They tried to make the game slow and bitty and really tried to pack the defence. They looked a little bit toothless in attack, but that can happen when you play against City. But I'm interested most about this game in how Newcastle approach it. Do they go for that all-out attack, try and be dominant, try and be destructive, try and put themselves into the game against Liverpool? Or do they sit back and give Liverpool the respect like they did to City? And I think that'll tell us, A, where Newcastle see themselves being this year, but B, how the teams are starting to look at Liverpool. Are they looking at them as a team to be got at, or do they still fear them the way they did a couple of seasons ago? So I think that's what's going to be really interesting. If I'm honest, I think Newcastle are going to back themselves. I think at St. James's Park, they're really going to want to come out and play. I think it's going to be open. I think it's going to be fun. I think that Liverpool... I do like Endo. I think he's a good addition to their squad. I think he gives them something extra in midfield that they have been missing. Don't think he's enough on his own, though. So I'm going to say a really fun, really open, exciting game to end off Super Sunday. And I'm going for a 3-2 Newcastle win.
You and my missus have got quite a few scores the same, which is strange. However, I'm not far off. I've gone for a Desmond.
A Desmond. Yeah, I can see a Desmond.
I've gone for a Desmond. I couldn't split the two. To be fair, I couldn't split the 2-2. Hey. Doug says Newcastle 2, Liverpool 3. We can't defend, but our attack: Diaz, Salah, Gakpo, and Jota is lethal, along with Flobberdobadob, some Bill and Ben shit in midfield. Going to go with a 3-2 to us. We shall see what happens. You never know, mate. You never know.
It's a difficult one. I think, obviously, it was really good performance, I suppose, from Liverpool last week. I think, I think we should call out the dive from Szoboszlai for the penalty. I think that's one of them where you've got to look at that and think, come on, lad, you can't be doing that. It's just silly. But, it worked. It got them that sort of goal they needed to get ahead in the game. I think they need to do something similar. I just don't think they've got enough. I think the midfield is possible to get through and to dominate. And that's where I think Liverpool are short, but their fans know that. And I'm sure they're working on new signings. Obviously, there's talk about Gravenberch, who could hopefully make a bit of a difference, but just not enough for this weekend.
Definitely not. Definitely not. And that is your lot for this weekend. We have done it. We won't go back through the results because I'm hoping that Ollie's forgotten what I've predicted for especially one game. I don't know why you'd remember the Chelsea-Luton one, to be fair. But no, I really appreciate it coming on, and it's always a laugh. And like I say, get on like an house on fire. And well, like you said there, the McAllister red has been rescinded as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the McAllister red, did they take the penalty away, or does that stay?
Yeah, that will stay.
He's done it. They still get that one. Yeah.
Liverpool, is that how it's pronounced if you break it down?
Something like that, yeah.
It seems to work. I'm sure my daughter asked for it. See, there's no kit clash, but there's a misspelling in Liverpool here. I spelled it wrong. Meant to put an A instead of an E. But no,
I'm looking at Doug. Love you.
Don't shoot me, please. But no, really always fun to chat and catch up and stuff. Again, tell people where they can check you out and your stuff.
Indeed. So if you want to follow me, I'm at Beastly Oli on Twitter. Please don't judge me for the name. I set it up when I was like 14 and it was a terrible mistake. If you want to follow the channel, where the Sheffield United Way, so at Sheffield United Way on Twitter or the Sheffield United Way on YouTube. You can also find us on your podcast feed for Apple, Spotify and everything else for player interviews, but also match previews, and our podcast that we do every week where we just talk about United, but also about life a little bit more generally. And actually, follow me on if you're following me, I do a weekly championship podcast show. I do it with Gab Sutton. Do that every Wednesday at 5:30. It's the EFL debate. It's a lot of fun. We get guests on from all the different clubs in the championship to talk about how their season's going, but also expectations for the rest of the season. So if you're interested in a little bit more wider football, particularly in the championship, let us know. And I do spend quite a bit of time slagging off Blackburn, so you would enjoy it.
Yes, that's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. And Oli clearly came over to the YouTube channel earlier because I can see how hard he Hulk smashed that button because it's come through his wall. So he's absolutely donkey punched it full on through. Mate, you need to get someone to check that out.
I'll get builders in. They'll get it fixed, and hopefully I can.
I hope the bloke whose hand it is all right. Other side, he stopped screaming now, hasn't it?
Yeah, he has. I had to go mute earlier because he would just but he's all right. He's fine. We're just waiting for ambulance. He'll be fine. He'll get free.
He's all right then.
He'll never be allowed round again because I can't be doing with it. It's just too much stress.
Yeah, that's gonna need amputating anyway. It's gone gangrene. So
hey.
No, well, honestly, I really appreciate it. Like I say, Ollie's link to his Twitter X account. I can't get used to that shit. Is in the description. And the Sheffield United Ways YouTube channel is also in the description. So go and show your support. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. As I said, these prediction shows are going to be everywhere just due to my times at work. I'm going to now have to go up and rest so the missus can come down here and apparently decorate the front room for my birthday. So, yes, lovely. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, happy birthday for tomorrow. Enjoy it. Thank you very much for having me. It is always a pleasure. Really enjoyed it, mate. So yes, I look forward to finding out that I've done better than you next week and that your United prediction was a mile off.
I know, 4-0 United to beat Forest. Shocking. Shocking.
Oh,
no, guys, everyone in the chat, you are legends. Stay cool, stay composed, and just enjoy the rest of the week. Take it easy, you beautiful rapscallions. Mwah.